Episode 8, The Downward Spiral and Silent Battles. The layoff hit Juan hard. He had always been the primary breadwinner of the family, and losing his job felt like losing a part of his identity. He struggled with feelings of inadequacy and guilt, seeing his family suffer because of his unemployment. He started to withdraw from them, spending more time alone. Juan's struggle with his job loss was more than just financial. It was a battle with his self-esteem, his sense of self-worth. He felt like he had let his family down. He would wake up early, just as he used to when he had work, but instead of heading to the construction site, he would sit alone in their small living room, lost in his thoughts. He felt a deep sense of loss and failure that he found hard to express. Josefina tried to keep the family afloat with her income as a seamstress, but it was barely enough to cover their basic needs. The stress of their financial situation weighed heavily on her. She was torn between wanting to comfort Juan and needing him to help find a solution to their problems. Josefina, on the other hand, was fighting her own battles. She was trying to stretch every peso, skipping meals so the children wouldn't have to. She worked long hours, her fingers aching from the endless sewing. But what pained her more was seeing Juan so lost and distant. She missed her husband's cheerful demeanor and their long talks after the children had gone to bed. Cecile and Carlos were deeply affected by the changes in their family. They missed their father's laughter and their mother's lightheartedness. The possibility of leaving their new school also loomed over them, adding to their stress. Cecile and Carlos were not oblivious to their parents' struggles. They saw their mother's tired eyes and their father's forced smiles. They felt the tension at home, the unspoken worries that hung in the air. They missed their old life, the carefree days even in the midst of poverty when their biggest worry was homework. The family started to drift apart, each dealing with their struggles in silence. The once cheerful and tight-knit family was now often filled with tension. Their meals, which were once filled with stories and laughter, had become silent. Despite these challenges, they found ways to contribute. Cecile started selling handcrafted items. Cecile poured her feelings into her crafts, each piece reflecting her emotions. Carlos, on the other hand, used his studies as an escape, often staying up late into the night immersed in his books. But the joy they once found in these activities was overshadowed by the necessity of their situation. The community's support was a silver lining, but it also served as a constant reminder of their situation. Every act of kindness was a pinch to their pride, but they swallowed it down for survival. The community's support was a double-edged sword. It was a reminder of their situation but also a beacon of hope. They were grateful for the help but couldn't shake off the feeling of dependency. This episode marked a significant downward spiral in their lives. But even as they spiraled down, they held on to hope, believing that they could pull through if they stuck together as a family. In this episode, each member of the family was fighting a silent battle. Their struggles were not just with their finances but also with their emotions and self-worth. Will their strength and love for one another pull them out of this situation? Their love for each other was their greatest weapon against the trials they were facing. In the face of these adversities, the family learned valuable lessons. Juan, who had always identified himself with his job, learned that his worth was not defined by his employment. He realized that he was more than just a worker. He was a father, a husband, and a pillar of strength for his family. His job loss taught him resilience and the importance of emotional openness. He learned to express his feelings instead of bottling them up, bringing him closer to his family. Josefina discovered the power of resourcefulness and the value of skills. Her sewing not only brought an income but also served as a tool for empowerment, both for herself and other women in the community. She learned that every little bit helps and that her contributions were valuable. Cecile and Carlos learned about sacrifice and hard work at a young age. They understood that life wouldn't always be easy, but they also realized that they had the power to change their circumstances. They learned to value education even more, knowing the sacrifices their parents were making for it. The community's support taught them about kindness and humility. They learned to accept help when needed and understood the importance of a supportive community. This episode in their life, though filled with struggles, was also filled with lessons. They learned about resilience, resourcefulness, sacrifice, acceptance, and the power of community. Will these lessons shape them and prepare them for future challenges? Their story serves as a reminder that even in our lowest moments, there are valuable lessons to be learned. Thank you for watching till the end. Follow this novel series. Support our social media platforms and please visit our website, simplovia.com.